What is going on, everybody? If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to a very special edition of the HFWB podcast series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, and with me today, I have a very special woman who has become a very special friend because of the many wonderful talents that she brings and all the work that she does within the community and stuff. And here's a couple of reasons why as I break this down. Of course, she symbolizes leadership for the city of Corpus Christi at its finest. She is known for, of course, her background with a bachelor's in business and administration. And did I mention when it comes to like fundraising, raising money, and basically shining a light on the community, she's literally certified in very advanced ways to where she can do that in many multiple levels, of course. And with all of that, it led to her becoming the Executive Director of Mission of Mercy, which is wonderful because it's all about healing with love, and that is something that I love tremendously, and that's part of the reason why Health, Fitness, Wealth Business is now, of course, partners with Mission of Mercy. And the person I'm about to bring on, the reason for that, if you haven't figured it out by now, is none other than the lovely Miss Sherry Bowers. Welcome to the HFWB podcast series, Sherry. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be one of your guests, and thank you for that amazing introduction. Yes, I love our Coastal Bend community and serving South Texas over the years with my nonprofit experience, and I'm more than excited to be able to have Clifton join the Mission of Mercy family as one of our leaders on our leadership council.
Yes, and we'll definitely, of course, get into how all that took place as everything goes on. But back to yourself, Sherry, when the people who are listening to the HFWB podcast series and who's wondering, who is Sherry Bowers, the woman? How would you best describe it as far as your overall background and what basically led you to becoming a part of Mission of Mercy?
Well, we always say at Mission of Mercy, everyone has their story of how they got here and how God brought you to this amazing organization. My fundraising experience started when I was 9 years old. I got involved in the March of Dimes, Walk America. I had my cute little envelope going door to door to my neighbors and asking for money, and then walking the very long distances to raise money to help babies. And so that's kind of where my love started. Over the years, I joined committees and got involved with other nonprofits.
Right.
My first one was with the Special Olympics. My job was an official hugger. I was at the finish line, and the participants would cross the line, and my job was to hug them, and I love that. And of course, I was also part of the hospitality tent at the event. So when a participant got hurt or skinned their knee, I would try to help comfort them. But I love many organizations. I've been involved as a volunteer myself throughout the years, and I still am a volunteer. I volunteer for the Association of Fundraising Professionals locally. But my first big break, I guess, was at the university at Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. I was an employee there, and one of my good friends was the marketing director, and she oversaw the state employee charitable campaign where they would raise money, and employees would, from their checks, they would be deducted a certain amount, and it would go toward this fund to assist many nonprofits. And I went in and I actually asked her, hey, I heard that you have a Walk America team through the March of Dimes. And so for those of you that know Mary McQueen in our community, she has been one of my mentors, but she started with that day. And she took her crooked little finger and said, oh, so you want to get involved? And she took her crooked little finger and she turned around, and in her desk, she had a 5-inch notebook, one of those really thick ones. And she
Okay.
said, "Oh, Sherry, I think you would be great at chairing the committee." And of course, being brand new and being very naive. So that's kind of where it started. And I chaired the committee
Oh,
and it grew from there. And I
okay.
got my big break with the American Red Cross, serving as their development and communications director. And so I've had the privilege of working for many nonprofits in our community, but I've been with Mission of Mercy now for 8.5 years. So that's where it got started.
Most importantly, shout out to Miss Mary McQueen for being such a wonderful mentor to the lovely Sherry Bowers and putting her into the position that she's currently in, because that's an incredible story, and it just goes to show you. I love how the fact that you started
Oh
off
yeah,
literally
yeah.
by just being just a
Come on
simple
over.
hugger at the finish lines and simple events like that. It's simple acts of kindness like that that just helps present what love truly means and what it really should be about at the end of the day. And overall, that's just wonderful. And it's like people don't understand as far as like the overall story of Mission of Mercy. And this is basically for those who are listening to the HFWB podcast series. Here's a little quick story time. Basically, Mission of Mercy, it's a life changing book, right? It was written by like one of the most inspiring women in, of course, America. Her name was Nancy Alcorn, I believe. She basically dedicated her life to helping young women break the bonds of drug addiction, sexual abuse, eating disorders, unplanned pregnancies, and sex trafficking. All of that, which led to now Mission of Mercy basically being known as a community based organization, basically providing free health care and prescription
Well,
medications to the
Mission of
uninsured
Mercy,
and
and actually
underinsured.
one of the
As far as
founders
everything that I just
was
said, Sherry,
Jonna
when I
Sullivan,
say all of
and her
that,
husband had
what
started
comes
it
to
back
mind
in
when you hear that
1992.
every
It took a
time?
couple of years to get off the ground, but it quickly progressed into Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. And the Texas program, which I oversee,
Yes.
is the final current program that is assisting people in our community. And basically, we focus on people who are uninsured. So as long as someone does not have Medicare, Medicaid, insurance, or a county card, and if we're accepting new patients, we will try to assist them. So all of our services are
Hmm.
free, and we just truly love being able to, again, our mission is to restore dignity and healing through love, and that means healing through God's love and
Hmm.
providing that free medical care to people that need it. People who are underserved, and just, typically our patients have jobs and
Hmm.
cars, and they either make too much money or not enough money. So
Right.
we're here to, open our arms and just embrace them and try to assist them. Many of our patients, by the time they get to us, they are extremely frustrated because they've gotten the runaround. They're very, very sick. Some are very humbled. Some are very ashamed because they never thought they would need a free medical facility. But in this medical center, that's what it's about, is we're here to help you. And we don't out, in fact, we don't
Yes.
even ask any questions. We ask that one question: do you have? And because some of our patients are undocumented, everybody has their own story, and so we're not here to judge. We're here to assist and embrace and care.
Right. Yes. I agree. The one thing that I love, based on everything you just said, Sherry, is simple. You're basically, in a way, Mission of Mercy is basically cutting out the middleman, basically because of all that. Because it's like, yes, the patients are frustrated. Yes, they've gotten the runaround. Yes, they've been in situations where it's like, oh, they make too much money, or they're in certain situations where their insurances is all out of whack and everything. And it's like you're kind of just like becoming like getting the middleman out of there and just saying, hey, we're here to take care of you. All we're doing is just asking you this one simple question. And if you can qualify within that, we'll go ahead and take care of you, open arms, and we'll heal you through, most importantly, as you alluded to, God's love, which is most important as far as just helping us overcome generational health, most importantly. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why when we first originally met, since a lot of people don't realize this, as I took a couple of tours of the actual facility myself, and it's a wonderful facility. It's a beautiful facility. As a matter of fact, I want to say the second time I did the tour, I remember I was thinking, I need to do something here, and I just need to like get involved somehow. And then that was when we had our meeting, and that was when we announced, hey, we're going to be partnering up. And now look at me, I'm part of the Mission of Mercy Leadership Council, which I'm truly honored to be a part of. And it's like a lot of great things are coming in 2023. And if anything, Sherry, why don't you allude to the people listening to the HFWB podcast series, one of the biggest events that is coming in 2023.
We have a vision
and I believe you and I both know what we're talking about
in the coming weeks, we will be officially kicking off and opening a dental clinic. So for people in the coastal bend, they know that finding free dental care services is extremely challenging. And exactly. And many of our patients, including with their medical care, they will kind of put that on the back burner because many of our patients can't afford the diabetic medication required. They have to decide, am I going to spend that $400 on my medicine or put it towards gas and groceries? So, and of course, when it comes to dental, many people just let those, challenges with teeth go. Oh, I have a toothache, but I'm fine. I can suffer through it. And before you know it, you have multiple teeth that need to be pulled or whatever. But if you don't have really good health care with your mouth, that leads to additional challenges with your overall health. So we're very excited to open up a dental clinic, and we hope to see our first patient most likely at the beginning of February. So there are many things going on, but one of them, of course, I am very excited to have Clifton join our leadership, because that's what it takes, is movers and shakers in the coastal bend. We are a grassroots organization. We don't accept any government funding, so we rely strictly on the donations of individuals, corporations, and foundations. And I have currently a team of 6 staff, and we typically have 2,600 patients, and we provide over 10,000 patient visits in 1 year. So that's an incredible task, and through our grassroots efforts, all of our volunteers, our physicians, our nurses, our medical team members, they're volunteering their time, just like Clifton. It's not only medical team members we need, but we need volunteers of all walks of life, including leaders. So I'm very excited to have Clifton be a part of this organization.
Right.
Right.
And I'm truly honored, Sherry, to be a part of it as well. And you alluded on 2 key words right there within everything you were saying, which is volunteer
without donors
and
and volunteers, we
when
don't
you think of those 2 words
so
exactly,
a
what is your
volunteer,
best personal
someone who
definition
commits
of a volunteer
their time,
and
talent,
your
and treasure.
personal definition of a leader in
Those
your
individuals that are willing to go into the community and tell our story about who we are, what we do, and how people can help. That is probably one of the most important leadership roles a person can take. But the bigger picture, helping us build relationships in the community, being a donor themselves, maybe having their corporation make a donation, sending people our way to take a tour of the medical center. So we're always looking for in-kind donations. People don't really understand that we don't provide any surgeries in our medical center, so we rely heavily on our partners like Krista Spahn, Radiology and Imaging, that provide the free blood work, the x-rays, the testing of our patients. So it really, leadership can look like many, many things, but someone can do something very small by saying, hey, Sherry, I'm going to send John over to the medical center, give him a tour. And from there, that could snowball into many things.
Yes, it can. And yeah, and you're absolutely right. All it takes is just one interaction and one conversation, and the next thing you know, you unite together as one based off of a respect factor as far as, hey, I respect where you're coming from, you respect where I'm coming from. Now let's come together and let's get some moving and shaking done, as you alluded to. It's all about the movers and the shakers as far as making things done, getting things done, I should say, and make things happen in the community.
Well, looking
but
back
overall,
on the
Sherry, I was going to
past
ask
and
you
how
as far as
quickly we
just
grew.
the
5
overall
years ago
direction of Mission
in
and Mercy.
February
If you
of
had
this
a
year, we will be in
5-year
our clinical
outlook,
space,
where
this
do you
medical
see
center for
personally
5
Mission and
years.
Mercy going?
When we
Just
walked
your
through the
first
doors
thoughts
of
that
this
come to
building, we
mind.
strictly had medical services and prescription assistance.
Right.
And within, I believe it was about 6 months, we quickly implemented the vision clinic, and now we are providing the dental clinic. We kind of put the dental clinic off for a while because we really wanted to make sure our medical clinic and the vision clinic was strong, and we had enough volunteers and things were moving smoothly. So when we finally made the commitment of dental, we know what a huge endeavor that takes. But looking forward, and to answer your question, maybe 5 years from now, who knows what additional services we offer, because just in this short 5 years, we added cooking classes and nutrition classes and exercise classes. And now we're about to have this amazing meditation special event that we'll talk more about. But what I envision is running all 3 of the clinics, probably all 5 days. Currently, we run the medical clinic only 3 days, and the vision clinic only 1 day, and the dental clinic will be only 1 day. I would envision probably, hopefully, having Saturday where we're open on Saturdays. We currently have 1 day a month where we're open in the evenings to provide that care to the working individuals that have jobs, and it's hard for them to, visit their physician.
Yes, it's wonderful, and I can definitely see a wonderful outlook within all that, because it just goes back to what basically Mission of Mercy is about. It's all about healing through love and healing from within, and that's pretty much my whole idea and what I've basically been trying to tell people within health, fitness, wealth, business for the last year and a half now, which is, it's crazy how time goes on and you get aligned with the people who have the same ideals and values. And for everybody listening to the HFWB podcast series in this particular episode, look at the conversation I'm having with Miss Sherry Bowers. I mean, who would have thought we would even be crossing paths based on the ideals of just healing through love? I mean, it's crazy how the world works sometimes, but overall, Sherry, I'm getting to the point where I'm basically going to ask you like a list of questions that I usually ask everybody who comes on the podcast and stuff.
Typically, when I turn on my phone, I sometimes hear from my staff. I did hear from one of my staff this morning. Probably some of the challenges that by the time I hit the front door, what are some problems I need to quickly solve? But that's typical in any nonprofit. You have a tiny, tiny staff. It's not like we have a dedicated staff member for every possible thing. Our staff wear many, many hats, and they're extremely dedicated and passionate about their job. So basically, probably the first thing is, what are the challenges? Because I know walking through the door, I'll address them immediately and then focus on emails, paying bills, checking the mail, those day-to-day tasks.
Mm. Um, I love it, Sherry. You bet if there was a picture of dedication, your face should be literally next to the definition of dedication, because it's like the moment you wake up, you're already trying to figure out how you're going to solve problems, how you're going to get things done, and it's like we need more people in the world simply like that, because it's like it's inspiring just to hear you just say that answer
Health
within
and
itself.
wealth.
It's
I think they
very
go
unique
hand in
and very
hand,
different, but
and
I
without
totally
your
respect that and I
health,
totally
you
get it.
don't have
I really
wealth.
do.
The
My
richest
next
person in
question
the
that I
world can
have
be
for
the
you, Sherry,
wealthiest
is
person
what is your personal
financially,
definition of
monetarily. They
health
can have the
and
biggest
wealth
house,
in your
jet skis,
eyes?
cars, whatever. But if you are not healthy, you cannot enjoy the things that you were wishing for, you strived for, you worked
Mm,
for. So it's critical every day that people take care of their health. We try our best here to stop the cycles of diabetes, overweight, hypertension. So one of the ways we address that is through our classes of nutrition and cooking classes, because a lot of these challenges with health, especially in our community. I don't know if you remember back in the day, not too long ago, maybe a few years ago, they designated Corpus Christi as the fattest city in the nation. Remember that? We were, and we were even, well, they even had that cartoon. I can't remember which cartoon it is. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember it, but I can't, right.
oh yeah,
So, so
I wasn't
nationwide,
fully
people
aware
were
of that, and
laughing at
I
us,
just got
right?
my
And
head
that
down.
affects me and that affects you, Clifton, right? Because we're trying to address these challenges, and it's extremely
Oh,
difficult. We have such
it
delicious
goes
food
in
in
and
our
out of my mind, but
community.
I
I'm
think I
telling
remember
you.
seeing a
But
cartoon about it.
it it is. But so to answer that question, I truly feel that, health has to be your number one focus, because everything you do when you wake up in the morning and you
It's
put
a
your
challenge.
foot
It
on
is.
that on the floor, and like you said, what's the first thing that you do? Well, okay, I woke up, I took my first breath. But if you're not in good health and you're carrying extra weight, I know I had one friend of mine that I recommended as a patient, and the physician saw uh, my friend, and afterwards I said, well, how was it? And he said, well, Sherry, your doctor said I'm fat and overweight and I need to get into a nutrition class. And we kind of chuckled because he has a great sense of humor. But honestly, our physicians do take that extra care to really encourage and almost gently remind and gently push our patients who need to learn about managing their diabetes and their hypertension and
Right.
how to lose weight and why it's important. Health is so important.
Mhm. It really is, and that pretty much is one of the main reasons why I started Health Fitness Wealth Business, is because of that alone within itself. Because people don't realize we're still in the top 10 as far as the most obese cities in the country, which is just ludicrous. And I remember when I read that, my head just dropped, and I was just like, man, you got to be kidding me. It literally just killed my whole mood for the day just reading that, because it's like, man, did it really come to this? Like, it doesn't have to be like this. And that's why I'm trying to take it within myself to show people, hey, all it takes is just a little bit of movement. You don't got to do the most intense stuff in the world. You can literally go walk around the block a couple of times a day. You can get your exercise doing that. But people don't understand that sometimes. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day
Right.
overall. But I was gonna ask you, Sherry. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, whenever you're, of course, not doing everything that you're doing
You know how
on a
people
regular
ask that
basis,
question,
right?
what's
Because
the
I
one
know you're
thing about
super
you that
busy
people
and
don't
that mind
know
is working
that would be
like
surprised?
literally
I
nonstop,
always use this
24/7.
when I was
What are
growing
some
up, I
things,
was
Sherry,
probably, I don't
that
know, maybe
you
9 or
do that a
10.
lot
My
of people may
mom
not know that
took me
you like to
to
do?
swimming lessons, and this lady taught swimming out of her home. Well, she was a bronze medal Olympic winner from Germany. So I learned how to swim from a bronze medal winner, which to this day I still remember. So me personally, my love is of the ocean. I surf, my husband surfs, we boogie
Uh-huh.
board. In fact, I cannot stand the winter months. When we were younger, we would do those things even in the ice cold water,
Oh,
but no, no,
wow.
no, we don't do that now. So anything dealing with the ocean, the sound, the just I mean, I can feel my blood pressure just drop as soon as we pull up in the vehicle.
Right.
Yes.
I love it. That's wonderful. And
Okay.
there's nothing wrong with being in tune with the water. It's kind of like I talk about in my book, What's Wealth Without Work. Did we forget about water? Because last time I checked,
Loyalty.
majority of our body is made up of
Because
water.
if people are
So
loyal
I
to
mean,
you,
that's a
I
really
think it's
great
more
point there.
important that
I'm gonna do a little
if
bit
people are
of
loyal to
either
me
or, would
personally as
you
a
rather,
person,
here with
that's
you, Sherry, just to
amazing.
kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Loyalty to the
Would you rather
organization.
have
I
respect
think
or
if people are
loyalty?
loyal, then they possibly already respect you. But personally, I'm an only child. I have a job to do here. I'm not here to be liked or even respected. I have a job to do, and it's to serve the patients of this organization and make the best decisions that I can from a strategic standpoint of where we're going and what we're doing. But I would say loyalty, because with loyalty, a lot of things come. When people are loyal, they typically are passionate, they have compassion. Um, I think both are important, but I would say loyalty.
Um,
Yes. Oh, for sure, the ocean. And, that, well,
That's a
I'm
great answer. It really
sorry.
is.
there,
And I feel like you
there's
already
nothing
answered
more
this
peaceful
next
than
question that I'm
being
about to
even
ask you based on
underwater,
your love
even
for
when
the
the
ocean.
waves are
Would you
crashing on your
rather
head.
live
You've
in the
just wiped
ocean
out
or
off
would
your
you rather live
board.
in space?
Maybe your leash broke, but being under
That's
that
why I'm like,
will
you just answered that question.
no, I'm how do you say it?
It's okay. I love it though.
Claustrophobic, and I couldn't stand to have that thing on my head. No, give me water. Sing, and I do, because that's why I have dark tint on my car. People can't see what I'm doing. Everybody can sing, Clifton. It's just, is it good or not?
I respect the honesty there. Would you rather
Yeah,
dance or sing to every
yeah,
song that you listen to?
oh yeah, for sure, sure. Anonymous and rich, for sure. Again,
It's a good way to look at it, and I totally
everyone
agree with that.
dreams that
Especially if it's our
dream of,
favorite
oh, the
song, and if
lottery.
we're in the moment and
Right
we're
now, I
just
think it's
feeling
over
it.
a
I mean,
billion.
hey, it
Everybody
happens like that
dreams that dream
sometimes. It
of
really
what would
does.
I do if I
Would you
actually
rather
won,
be
and
famous
would
and
you just
poor
blow it
or
on buying an
anonymously rich?
island, or would you anonymously help as many people as you can? And it would be anonymous for me. And I totally respect our donors that are anonymous. We've had some amazing donors. And the person that this building was built and is designated as an anonymous donor. So I totally respect that in a person, because people give for people give for different reasons. So I would want to be anonymous. That's right. Well, I'd have to say, do I get money with that trip or not?
No, that's exactly
I
how I'd
think that
rather
kind of
be
answers
as
it.
well. I'd
I
rather be
would
anonymous and
probably
have my
say
little stash
the
put away to where people don't
unlimited
have to worry about
meals,
where it is, most
because I've
importantly.
never even traveled
Would
first
you
class,
rather
so I don't
have
even know what it's about.
unlimited
That's
free
not
meals
important
at
to
your
me.
favorite restaurant or
Give me
unlimited
some
first class
quesadillas,
tickets
yes, let's talk.
and be able to
But
fly anywhere?
you got to do it healthy, right? You can't eat it every day.
That's a great question. I respect
Okay,
that.
so the first question is, I would go back 5 years.
Yes.
Okay,
I
go back
agree,
5 years.
100%.
5 years.
Last question,
10
Sherry,
years.
before we
10
wrap
years.
everything
Okay.
up, of course. Now, if you had the
I would
opportunity to
probably
go back in
say
time, right,
get
say
both of
10
my
years ago,
credentials a
what would you
lot
tell yourself?
faster,
And for
because
yourself
I know the
personally,
value
Sherry, where do you
of
see
having
yourself within the
a
next 10 years?
CFRE and an ACFRE credential. I would continue to
Oh, if you had the opportunity, right, to go
say,
back in time
continue your
10
path
years
and
and then
closeness
tell,
with
tell
your
yourself
personal
something, what would you
relationship with
say?
God. And I did. There were times, but there's other times where you can see where your life could have been much easier if you put your faith more in God and yourself, right? And then where do I see myself 10 years from now? Let's see. I will be, let me do some math. Hopefully close to retirement. I would say I would love to be with Mission of Mercy 10 more years and,
Uh-huh.
and watch it, because I've seen us when we were teeny tiny. I mean, I started as the first full-time employee, and I was answering the phone, making the
Right.
appointments, building the
Uh-huh.
leadership council, running over here and doing that.
Right.
So watching us grow from something very, very small to what we look like now, and being a part of that, and having amazing volunteers and people by my side and each other's sides to be where we are today. Sure. Yeah.
Well said, Sherry, and well deserved, and overall every step of the way. And let the people know, most importantly, where they can get in contact with you, where they can find Mission of Mercy, and hey, also to
Yes.
let the people
Yes.
know who are
So
listening about the
our
HFWB
meditation
podcast
fundraiser
series. Let them know
is in
about
recognition
a
of
couple of
Mental
events.
Wellness
One of them
Month,
being,
which
of
is
course,
this month.
like you
And
alluded
so
to earlier,
this
Sherry, the
this again
meditation
is something
fundraiser
brand new to
that's going to
Mission
be
of Mercy.
taking
We are
place
putting our little
first and one of
toe
its
in the
kind later on this month
meditation
on January the
pool
27th
to
for those who are listening to
assist
the
our
podcast
patients.
series
We
closer
do a
to
little bit
that
of
date.
physical education.
And
We do
also
mental health
Mash Bash.
services that we provide, but meditation is something very unique, and so we're excited about partnering with Clifton and Health Fitness
Right.
Business, and so that will be January 27th from 9 to 11. Our facility, the medical center, is located at 2421 Ayers, and that is at the corner of Ayers and Baldwin. It's right across the street from Del Mar College. And so one of our signature fundraising event is called Mash Bash, and that will be held in March. It's 3/3/23. Easy to remember. Okay, so that's at the Ortiz Center. It starts at 6 p.m. This is based on the television show MASH. Not everyone on the podcast is going to even know what that is, especially our younger uh, individuals in the community. But basically, it is a very interactive event. People dress in camo and scrubs and like the characters on MASH. We have interactive games. We
Yes.
have that are custom built. We have one that is syringe darts. We have a mini minefield golf game. We have a grenade toss, and we also have a life-size version of the game Operation. Big tweezers come down and pull out the individual pieces. So we have dinner, dancing, food will be provided by the Corpus Christi Mustangs, and this year's entertainment is from the 90s, Rick Trevino, country star who won a lot of awards. We'll, of course, have a VIP for some of our top sponsors, but yes, tickets are on sale. They can just call 883-5500 extension 112 and ask for Jennifer. So we have a lot of things going on. Yes. Yes.
Yes, and oh, yes, we do have a lot of things going on, and I almost forgot about one more thing for those who are listening to this episode. You're getting a little bit of an exclusive here. We also have a very, very big event being put together currently by myself and Sherry that's going to involve a lot of wonderful vendors, a lot of wonderful entrepreneurs and business owners, and it's going to basically about just a healthy heart, and most importantly educating people about, most importantly, the brain that's inside of the heart, and just showing that overall kindness within it. And that's going to be taking place in February. We are pretty much working on the date right now. It's either going to be on the 17th or the 24th, but we'll definitely update you at a later notice. For those who are listening to the podcast series right now, you can of course follow me, of course, on social media and all that good stuff if you haven't already. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on, and yeah,
Thank you
we're
very much,
just
Clifton, for
overall just
having
getting
me.
our moving and
But
shaking
believe
on.
it or
And
not,
if
this is my
you
very
want to
first
leave
podcast
anything on the
ever. I'm super
podcast as
excited.
far as just
Yes,
something to be
I was the
left with,
first.
it's simple.
Yes,
Just be a
Clifton.
mover and just be a shaker in your
No,
community,
we are
and just get things
excited
done, and don't
to be a
waste any
part of this
time.
community,
The time
helping our
is now, and
patients,
just
and
make
partnering with
things
people
happen,
like
because nobody's
Clifton.
going to
That's
do it
how
for
we
you
get
but
things
you.
done in
But
the
other
Coastal
than
Bay
that,
community,
Sherry, thank
is
you
through
so much for
relationships. So
just
please take
making
time,
time out of
give
your
us a
busy,
call,
busy
stop by the
schedule just
medical
to
center. I'll give
bless
you a
us
tour.
with your appearance on the HFWB podcast series. It's been an honor, Sherry. Yes, indeed. And with that being said, thank you so much to the lovely Miss Sherry Bowers on being on the HFWB podcast series. And for those listening, this is your host, Clifton Pope, and I encourage everybody to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. And until next time, everybody, peace and love.